Hello everybody and welcome back to another stream, and welcome to my 2025-26 Premier League predictions, where I am going to be predicting every single result of the upcoming season and seeing what my predictions are going to, or what the table's going to look like when I've done all of them. So yeah, I hope you're going to enjoy that. We've got 38 rounds of fixtures to predict, obviously, as there are 38 games in a Premier League season. Just loading my... there we go. Right. So, what I've done is I've already made a prediction, or a table prediction anyway. If I can find it. I'm going to put it on screen now. So, oh god, that's a bit small, isn't it? How do I get it? There we go. Right, so this is what I've gone for as my actual table, in terms of what I predicted. So I've gone for Liverpool to win the league again, although based on the Community Shield performance, I mean, it's only the Community Shield, let's not overreact, but they do definitely need a couple of centre-backs, I think. Manchester City to finish second, Arsenal and Chelsea to complete the top four. Newcastle in fifth is looking a little bit suspect, I've got to be honest, especially if Isak has his way. Spurs in sixth, I think with Thomas Frank, they'll do a lot better. I know it's a bit of a pun, obviously, after finishing 17th last time, but surely there's no way they can be that bad again. Villa in seventh. I think just standard really. Villa, I think they'll comfortably finish top 8 but won't challenge the top 4. Man United again, like purely on the basis that they cannot be as terrible as they were last season. And surely I don't think they'll challenge the top 6. But I think surely they can't finish 15th again. Brighton always seem to find a way to finish in the top 10. I think Everton will have a really good season under David Moyes. I think new ground as well, it'll inspire them, give the supporters some hope. Crystal Palace will always finish around that position, but obviously building on that FA Cup win last season, I think they'll finish 11th. Bournemouth in 12th, they've lost a lot of key defenders. Obviously they've lost Howson, they've lost Kirkes, Zabani they've lost as well. So depending on who they can get in, might determine where they finish, but I've got them 12th. Nottingham Forest in 13th, I think they'll struggle to juggle the league and European football as well, and let's not forget that they massively overachieved last season, so I think they'll find themselves in the bottom half again. Fulham in 14th, they just exist, don't they, Fulham? They don't really threaten, they won't go down, they won't threaten a European place, they just exist. Sunderland in 15th, I think they'll surprise a few people this year, Sunderland. I think they will surprise a few people. I think they've bought really well. Obviously the likes of Xhaka and Adingra and a few others they bought as well. It's just whether they all gel together or whether it'll be like a QPR 2013 job where they buy like 500 players and none of them mesh and it just doesn't work. I've got Wolves finishing 16th. Again, I can't see much improvement, especially with losing Cunha. I don't think they'll go down, but I don't think they'll do anything else either. Then I've got Leeds finishing 17th. I think they'll scrap, they'll battle, they'll just about stay up, I think. And then the 3 to go down, I've got Brentford, which I think they've lost a lot of key personnel, haven't they? They've lost Wissa, no, they haven't lost Wissa, they might lose Wissa. They've lost Mbumo, they've lost Norgard, they've lost Thomas Frank to Spurs. Keith Andrews, not necessarily sure that he's an inspiring appointment. And I think Brentford will struggle this year. I think they've just lost too much. West Ham is a bit of a bold one. They've actually had quite a decent pre-season from what I've seen, so this could be a really bad shout, but I just thought they were declining a lot over the last couple of years. It wasn't going particularly well under Graham Potter last year, and I just thought that they might struggle quite a lot this year. And then Burnley in 20th place. I mean, their defensive record in the Championship last year was excellent. I think that will definitely serve them a long way. But they have lost James Trafford, and they have struggled to score goals, and I think that will, yeah, I think that will cost them big time. And plus, Scott Parker's kind of like a yo-yo manager. Brilliant at getting teams up, but not so brilliant at keeping them there. So that is what I have gone for. But what we are going to do is we are going to, not going to do this, we are going to predict every single result of the Premier League, and we are going to see whether my predictions that I've done in real life or my predictions that I've done table wise match up to the predictions that I've done here. Okay. I've got my cat absolutely yowling outside at the moment, but it's nice and cool now. It's been a really, really warm day today. Like 31 degrees over here. It's just been mental. I know with any Americans watching, they'll be like, well, it's 5,000 degrees where I am, man, and we're fine. You just need to man up, boy. Yeehaw. But, you know, we don't cope with the heat very well. So yeah, so we've got the first round of fixtures, and I will do the calculations week by week, and we'll just see how it affects the table as we go, and whether my, the predictions that I've had table-wise will reflect what I've done here. So, without any further ado, let's get into it, shall we? So, first game of the season, Liverpool against Bournemouth. I don't think it's a 9 o'clock kickoff. I think this is like Europe. This must be like European times. I am going to go for a very narrow 1-0 Liverpool win. I think it'll be dodgy. I think Liverpool will be very slow out the blocks, but they'll get like a jammy 85th minute winner or something, and they'll nick all 3 points, because that's what a lot of the top teams tend to do on opening day. And then we come on to Villa against Newcastle. Now, obviously Newcastle have had a very disappointing pre-season. Lost out on a lot of targets. Haven't had many good results. I think they've only won one game in pre-season. So I think, like I said, putting Newcastle 5th in the table was, it was, I'm rethinking it. I think I might have made the wrong decision. I'm going to go 3-0 Aston Villa. I think it'll be a comfortable win. I think it'll be a very, very difficult start to the season for Newcastle. I think they'll take a while to get going. With all the unrest around Isak and all that stuff, maybe it'll affect the rest of the team. I don't know. But we'll see. Brighton, Fulham, I'm going to go 2-1 Brighton. I think they'll just edge it. It'd be a close game. I think Fulham could knack a point. Fulham could nick a point. But yeah, we'll see. Sunderland, West Ham, I'm going to go 0-0. There's no real logic for it. I just have that feeling. I just think it's going to be one of those games. Tottenham, Burnley. I'm going to go 3-1 Spurs. I think Spurs will come out of the blocks pretty strong against a Burnley team that have been promoted. I think Burnley could hold out for a long time, but then, like a lot of newly promoted teams do, I think they might just sort of fade in the last part of the game, and then that's when Spurs do the damage. David says, thoughts on the Isak situation? He's just been a bit of a prat, really, hasn't he? I get that he wants to go to Liverpool. I get it, but, downing tools and refusing to play is never the right way to go about it. And you think, he's had such an amazing spell at Newcastle, and he's completely tarnished his reputation now. The Newcastle fans are going to hate him forever now. despite all of the good that he's done for them over the last few years. If he'd gone about it in the right way, if he'd stayed professional, kept training, kept, putting himself in there and, making all the effort and doing everything that he could possibly do, I think Newcastle fans would have accepted it a lot easier. But to do it like this, it's no matter what club it is, it's disappointing. Right, Wolves against Manchester City. I don't know how to hold out much hope for Wolves this season, and I think City normally start the season quite strong, although they have lost Rodri. But I think they'll be alright for this first game. We're going to go 2-0. Nottingham Forest, Brentford. I don't know, 2-1 Forest. Just on the basis that I think Forest are better, they're at home. Brentford will struggle. Yeah. Chelsea Palace. Chelsea look pretty good in pre-season, I've got to be honest. But Crystal Palace can give any team a game. I'm gonna go. My instinct is saying 1-1. I think that's a really illogical result. Chelsea have had an excellent pre-season. They should win the game, but I've got a feeling they won't. And Crystal Palace might nick a point. I might be totally wrong. Manchester United against Arsenal. Now, this one is interesting because on paper, Arsenal should win this game. They've got a much better squad. They're in a much better place. They're in a much healthier place. However, because it's the first game of the season, I think both teams will be quite tentative, and I think neither team will want to lose. So, because of that, I'm going to go 1-1. I think it'll be a draw. Leeds United against... Oh, this could be interesting. I think Leeds... Do you know what? I'm going to go 2-2. I think Leeds will get a point. I think Everton will be decent as well. But I think Leeds will come out fighting. First game back in the Premier League at Ellen Road. It'll be absolutely rocking. So I think Leeds will put up a fight. I think they'll get a point. So let's see what that does to the old Premier League. So Aston Villa will be leading after day one. If everything goes my way, Spurs will be second, City will be third, Brighton, Forest and Liverpool, and then Everton, Leeds, Palace, Arsenal, Chelsea, United, Sunderland and West Ham, and then Fulham, Brentford, Bournemouth, Burnley, Wolves and Newcastle, all without a point. Newcastle rooted to the bottom. Right, let's go on to game 2. So West Ham against Chelsea. I'm going to go 2-0 Chelsea. Nicholas Jackson double, if he's still there. Or if he's even... Well, he must be down the pecking order now. So João Pedro and Liam Delap. But yeah. Oh well. City top. No, this could be interesting. That could be interesting. I'm going to go 3-2 City. I think Spurs will make a game of it, but I think City will just have enough. Bournemouth Wolves, I'm going to go 1-0 Bournemouth. Justin Kluivert, 73rd minute. Brentford Aston Villa, I'm going to go 3-1 Villa. I just think Villa will be too strong. Burnley, two promoted teams playing each other, second game of the season. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Sunderland starting with 2 draws. Arsenal, I'm going to go 3-0 Arsenal. I just think they'll be too strong for Leeds. Crystal Palace, that'll be tasty, won't it, with the whole Europa League thing that's happened. That'll be feisty. I'm going to go 2-2. So that's 2 draws for Palace as well. Everton, Brighton. I think Everton will win that. I'm going to 2-0. I think Brighton will be a lot more inconsistent this season. Especially if they lose Belieber and don't get a replacement in. But I'm sure they'll spawn some random talent from some obscure country, and I'm sure they'll be fine. And then they'll sell him for 100 million the year after. Fulham, Man United. I'm going to go for United to nick that 2, no, not 3-1, 2-1. Newcastle, Liverpool. I'm going to go... these Newcastle, Liverpool is always interesting, no matter what kind of situation these clubs are in. I think I might go 2-1 again. 2-1 Liverpool. There we go. Calculation. So, Aston Villa, top of the Premier League, with City and Liverpool all taking maximum points. Arsenal second on 4. Everton, Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, Man United, Spurs on 3. Bournemouth on 3. Brighton and Hove Albion on 3. Crystal Palace and Sunderland taking 2 draws each from their first 2 games. Burnley, West Ham and Leeds all on a point, and Fulham, Brentford, Wolves, Newcastle yet to score. This will be a difficult start to the season for Newcastle, but to be fair, their fixture list to start with is an absolute bastard. So, who have they got next? They've got Leeds. It could be tricky. Right. Aston Villa against Crystal Palace. I think 2-1 Villa. Keep their 100% record at the start of the season. I think Chelsea will beat Fulham 3-0. I think Sunderland will beat Brentford 2-1. Man United 1-0 Burnley. Tottenham, I'm going to go for a draw, 2-2. Wolves, Everton, I go 1-0, 1-0. Leeds United, I go 2-1 Newcastle. Brighton and Hove Albion, Man City, I go 3-1 City. Nottingham Forest 2, West Ham 0. Oh, Liverpool, Arsenal. That's a massive one. I don't think Arsenal, I can't see Arsenal winning. But they are unbeaten at Anfield in the last 3 years. They do tend to have a decent record away from home at the big teams. So I'm going to go 1-1. 1-1. Let's see where this brings us. So Villa leading the way. 3 wins out of 3. Man City got 3 wins out of 3 as well. Chelsea in 3rd. Forest having another good start. Liverpool in 5th. United in 6th. Arsenal 2 draws from their first 3 games. Sunderland having a decent start, still unbeaten. Spurs and Bournemouth have got 1 of everything. Brighton, dodgy start. Newcastle getting the first win on the board. Palace always start the season quite poorly. Doesn't matter what they've done, because I remember like season before last, when Glasner first took over, they had a really good end to the season, and you thought that would carry on, and then they started last season really poorly, but then they ended it really well and won the FA Cup. So yeah, who knows? Right. Arsenal against Nottingham Forest. So I go 2-1 Arsenal. Brighton, Bournemouth 1-0. Crystal Palace. I'm going to go 2-0 Palace. Everton. I'm feeling an Everton win there. This might be Villa's first defeat. I'm going to go 2-1. Fulham. I go 0-0. Newcastle, I think, will beat Wolves 2-0. West Ham, Tottenham. Hard. I go 2-1 Spurs. Brentford, Chelsea. I go 2-0 Chelsea. Burnley, Liverpool. So 3-1 Liverpool. City, Man United. Do you know what? Big dick prediction here. 4-0 Man City. there's no logic in that at all. I just think City have got a lot of firepower, and Man United, there'll still be issues. So I've currently got 2 of the bottom 3 that I predicted in my bottom 3. So West Ham and Brentford. Brentford having an appalling start here. Wolves, who are had in 16th. Burnley and Wolves are in the opposite. Actually, no, they're not. Burnley were down here. Brentford were here. But yeah, it's kind of, Villa aside. Villa a bit lower. Everton having an unbeaten start. It's kind of gone how I thought it would. It's sort of matching up so far, but obviously a long way to go. So what I'll do at the end, if I can, is I'll put both tables together so we can see the difference between what I predicted originally and what this has done. Right, I had to go and get a drink. My throat is really killing. Right, game week 5, Merseyside derby. I was going to say Manchester derby, I don't know why. Merseyside derby, Liverpool, Everton. What am I thinking? I'm going to go, I can't see past Liverpool, to be honest. I think this will be Everton's first defeat of the season, 2-1. Bournemouth, Newcastle, I think will be a draw. Brighton, Spurs. I actually think Brighton will beat Spurs. 2-0. 2-0. Burnley, Nottingham Forest. I don't know why, but I've got a feeling Burnley will win. 2-1. West Ham Palace. 1-1. Wolves, Leeds. I don't think I've given Leeds a win yet. I don't think I have anyway. But that's not going to change. I'll go 1-1 again. Man United, Chelsea. I actually think United could win that. I know Chelsea should win it, but I'm going to go United 2-1. Fulham, Brentford. 0-0. I'll probably find out that I've given Fulham like 38 draws in a row or something. Sunderland. 2-2. Why not? I'm probably overrating Sunderland massively. Arsenal, Man City. Do you know what? I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal. Just a week after City beat Man United 4-0, they lose 3-1 to Arsenal. But Arsenal beat them 5-1 last year. So you never know. But then that was a significantly out of sorts Man City. Alright, so Liverpool and Arsenal, still the only unbeaten teams so far. Liverpool's only draw coming against Arsenal. Chelsea have now suffered defeat, City have now suffered defeat. But the top 4 is exactly as I had it in my predictions. So, yeah, Forest, a lot better start than I thought. Everton, up there. Palace, alright, bit sluggish. Bournemouth the same, but yeah, it's not far off. I mean, Burnley are doing alright actually. Yeah, 4 points from 5. Leeds and Fulham, well, actually all these teams yet to win. But yeah, it's not looking too far off so far what I've put. So Brentford, Man United. I'm actually going to go. I thought about going for a Brentford win. I might actually 2-1. 2-1 Brentford. 2-0 Villa. 3. Oh, this could be. Actually, do you know what? Palace is sort of becoming a bit of a bogey team for Liverpool. Or are they? I don't know. That might sound like absolute bob. Did Palace beat Liverpool at Anfield last year? Or did they draw with it? I think Liverpool had already won the league by that point. Do you know what? 1-1. Chelsea 2, Brighton 0. Leeds, I'm going to go first victory, 2-1. Manchester City 5, Burnley 0. It'll be one of those games. City have those games every year where they just dog walk somebody. Forest 2, Sunderland 1. Tottenham 3, Wolves 1. Oh, this is tricky. Because Newcastle are a bit of a bogey team for Arsenal. I'm going to go 1-1. And then Everton 2, West Ham 0. Right. City take the lead. It's quite tight at the top, and there's only 6 games. But City from Liverpool, from Chelsea, Villa sneaking into the top 4. Arsenal now 5th. Bit of a stuttering start. Still unbeaten though. Everton in 6th. Spurs, Forest, Man United, Newcastle making up the top 10. And then Brentford and is it Burnley getting their first win? Or Leeds? Did Leeds get their first win here? Yeah, it did. No, Burnley didn't. No, Burnley did not beat Man City. No. Right, let's go to the next one. So Bournemouth, Fulham. I'm gonna go for a Fulham win here, 2-1. Okay, Villa 3, Burnley 1. Arsenal 3, West Ham 0. Brentford 1, City 3. Ooh, this could be interesting. Do you know what? Liverpool's first defeat, 2-1. 2-1 Chelsea. Everton 2, Palace 1. Leeds 1, Spurs 2. Man United 2, Sunderland 0. Newcastle 2, Forest 1. I'll go for Wolves to beat Brighton 1-0. There we go. So I've got my bottom 3 that I had. I just got it in the wrong order. Wolves finally got their first win. Fulham finally got their first win. It's just West Ham. They haven't won a game yet. I thought I'd end up like accidentally putting West Ham mid-table or something, or yeah, just completely disregarding anything that I've put. Look at that, Everton above Liverpool. I can't see that happening. Not even after 7 games. It'd be hilarious if it did, but Aston Villa in a title race. Right, let's see. Right, Sunderland Wolves, so I go 1-1. Brighton 2, Newcastle 1. Palace 2. I swear Palace have played Bournemouth like 5 times already. Burnley 1. Leeds 1. Fulham 1. Arsenal 3. 3-1 Liverpool. 3-1 City. I'm going to 1-0 Forest. Might be a bit. Tottenham. I think this will be one of those home games that they screw up. 3-1 Villa. West Ham 2, Brentford. No. There we go. Right. Every team's got a win now. I didn't do that for the purpose of that. But yeah, City leading the way, 7 wins and 1 defeat. Villa 2nd place, 2 points behind. Arsenal in 3rd. Liverpool in 4th. Chelsea in 5th. Everton dropped back a bit in 6th. Forest 7th. Spurs and Man United together again. Seem like friends, always together. In 8th and 9th. Newcastle in 10th. And then you've got Palace, Brighton, Leeds, Sunderland, Bournemouth, Wolves, Fulham, West Ham, Burnley and Brentford in the bottom half. I've still got my 3 to go down in the bottom 3, but there's not a lot separating. 3 points from 13th to 20th, although to be fair, you know, it's still early doors. Right, we're getting to the quarter-way mark of the season. It will be after this. Again, I swear, like, Bournemouth have played Forest like 19 times already. I'm going to go 2-0 Bournemouth. Villa Man City, I think City will just nick it. That'll be a top of the table clash there. Arsenal Palace, 2-1 Arsenal. Brentford Liverpool, I swear they've played each other already. 3-1 Liverpool. 2-0 Chelsea. 1-0. Leeds 2, West Ham 0. Man United. 2-1. 2-1 Brighton. Why not? Newcastle 2, Fulham 0. Wolves 2, Burnley 1. Right, here we go. Right, Arsenal up into second. Ahead of Liverpool. What did I put for Liverpool? Oh yeah, they won as well. Oh, so Arsenal were ahead anyway. They both leapfrogged Villa. That's why, who lost. Then Villa and Chelsea. I don't need to say it every time. You can have a look. Fulham want to get a move on soon in this imaginary world. Leeds are doing alright though. 13th. Sunderland got a few draws, but they're coasting along nicely. Wolves doing okay. Sort of pulling a little bit of a gap now to that bottom three. Leeds now 5 points ahead. Man United, dodgy start. 4 defeats. I didn't realise I'd actually put that many. And then Newcastle, after their dreadful start, sort of pulling it together. Right, Sunderland, Everton. I go for a Sunderland win, 2-1. Brighton 1, Leeds 0. Palace, I think Brentford will get a point. Burnley 0, Arsenal 2. Fulham 3, Wolves 1. Liverpool, 3-2 Liverpool. Man City 4, Bournemouth 1. Forest 1, United 2. Tottenham. Feeling 2-1 Spurs, I don't know why. And then West Ham, I'm going to go for West Ham to beat Newcastle. 1-0. There you go. Right, have a look at that. I need to go get another drink. My throat is going to be in a dire strait tomorrow. But there you go. Have a little look at that for a minute. Okay. I don't know whether it's because maybe it is. See, full disclaimer, I'm an Arsenal supporter, so I don't know whether I've gone like full bias here. The fact that Arsenal is still the only unbeaten team after 10 games, that might be a little bit of unconscious bias there from me, and that's not going to change. I'm putting 3-1 Arsenal. You know that Arsenal are going to cough a few silly ones up every year. They do, all the time. You have no way of knowing which one is going to be. Right, Brentford. I'm going to go for a point there. Chelsea 3, Wolves 0. Everton, I'm going to go 1-0. I go 3-1 City. Straight out with it. Actually, no. Yeah, 2-1 Forest. Spurs 2-0. West Ham 2, Burnley 1. And Manchester City marching on. They're not marching on together though, because they're not Leeds. 10 wins out of 11. Arsenal 3 points behind. Bit of a buffer to Liverpool now. Stuttered a bit. Chelsea 22, Villa 22. Their good starters kind of faltered. Spurs in 6th, like I thought they would be. Everton in 7th, Forest 8th, Brighton, Man United, Newcastle now in the bottom half. West Ham pulling it out lately. Didn't have a win at all. They've got 3 in quick succession, so my bottom 3 prediction hasn't worked there at all. Leeds and Sunderland keeping their heads above water, only just. Bournemouth having a poor season. Fulham, and then Wolves, Brentford and Burnley in the bottom 3. Right. I think much needed win for Bournemouth 2-0. Brighton to Brentford 1. I think this will be a draw. 1-1. I think it'll be tense. Thomas Frank's first North London derby as well. Burnley 1, Chelsea 2, Fulham 2, Sunderland 0. Liverpool 3, Forest 1. Leeds, I think they'll get a point. I think actually, yeah, get a point. United 2, Everton 1. I think Newcastle will beat Man City 2-0, shock defeat. Wolves 2, Crystal Palace 1. Right, so Arsenal failing to capitalise on the Manchester City defeat. Where have we heard that before? Liverpool closing the gap, or did they? Yeah, they won. Chelsea behind in 4th. So yes, pretty much as you were really. I think United are up to 8th. West Ham have dropped back a bit. Wolves have gone up a bit. Bournemouth, much needed win. Let's go on to game 13 now. Sunderland against Bournemouth. I'm going to go 2-1 Sunderland. It crashed back down to earth after beating the mighty West Ham. Villa 2-1. Crystal Palace 1, Man United 1. Brentford 1-0. Chelsea, I think painfully, this might be Arsenal's first defeat. They go 2-1 Chelsea. As much as it pains me to admit it, but I think Chelsea could hurt Arsenal this year. I know they haven't beaten us for ages, but it's got to come to an end sometime, I guess. Right, 1-0 Everton. I go 4-0 City. 3-2 Forest. 2-0 Spurs. And 3-1 Liverpool. So there we go. Arsenal dropping a place. That defeat puts them below Liverpool now. City 11 wins from 13, 4 points clear. Chelsea now move level on points with Arsenal, but Arsenal have the superior goal difference. Sunderland's win lifting them to 13th place. Leeds hovering, and West Ham back in the bottom 3. Burnley only 1 win so far. And Manchester City the only team without a draw. Right, Bournemouth versus Everton 2-2. Brighton 1, Villa 3. Arsenal will return to winning ways 3-0. Burnley, I had Burnley to beat Palace 2-1. Fulham 1, City 3, Liverpool, I think it'll be a painful day for Sunderland, 5-0. Leeds 1, Chelsea 2. Man United, I think this will be a shock defeat. I'm going to go 1-0 West Ham. Newcastle 3, Spurs 1. Wolves, I really don't know. 2-1 Wolves. Still no draw for Man City. Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea as you were. Newcastle up to 7th now on 21 points. West Ham climb out of the bottom 3 again with that win. Fulham treacherously close. They haven't been in the bottom 3 at any point yet, but they've been hovering dangerously close. Leeds now dropping into it. So, despite the fact that their goal difference, they're a point. Yeah, that's how it works, Dan. If you've got less points than the team in front of you, then you're below them. That's how that works. Good. I'm gonna go 2-1 Bournemouth. I'm going to go 1-0 Villa. Ollie Watkins, 82nd minute. Because Unai Emery seems to have this stranglehold. It's like a curse that he took when he got sacked from Arsenal. Brighton 3, West Ham 1, Everton 2, Forest 0. Fulham 2, Palace 1, Leeds. I'm going to go shock Leeds win 2-1. City 3, Sunderland 0. Newcastle 4. 4? Yeah, fuck it. 4, Burnley 1. Spurs, Thomas Frank against his old club 3-0. Wolves 0, Man United 2. So Villa now leapfrog Arsenal with that result. Arsenal 8 points off the pace. Didn't see that coming. Liverpool 7 points off the pace. They've had a dodgy start. But Man City, team to beat at the moment. Chelsea now outside the top 4, having, did they lose? Yeah. So Sunderland go into the bottom 3, so it's now all, no it's not, because they all 3 promoted teams. Brentford are still down there, but Leeds are 16th, Burnley are 20th, but yeah, Fulham now climb out, or climb away from it temporarily, but there's still only a 3-point gap between 12th and 18th, but for Burnley it's looking a bit precarious. Oh, here we go. Big one, Sunderland, Newcastle. Do you know what? I'll go for a Sunderland win. So they're going to put every single ounce of everything they've got into that game. Crystal Palace, I'm going to go draw. City are finally going to draw a game. Arsenal 2, Wolves 0. Brentford, I'm going to go Leeds win 3-1. Burnley 0-0. Chelsea 2, Everton 0. Liverpool 3, Brighton 0. Man United 1. Bournemouth 2. Forest 2, Spurs 1. Morgan Gibbs-White gets the winner. And then West Ham 1, Villa 2. So Liverpool gaining on Man City. The gap, I'm trying to think of the word. Jesus Christ, the gap has reduced to 5 points. Jesus Christ, I couldn't think of the word. I was thinking widening, but it's not widening if it's getting smaller. Villa, joint second, 35 points. Arsenal 34, Chelsea 34. So I predicted Villa to finish 7th. So, interesting. West Ham back in the bottom 3. So my current 3, or the 3 that I predicted, still in there. Wolves hovering just above. Sunderland in and around as well. Leeds doing pretty well. I mean, they're still only 3 points clear of safety, but they're doing pretty well. Right. Next one, Bournemouth 2, Burnley 1. Villa 3, United 0. Brighton 2, Sunderland 1. Arsenal 1, Everton 1, Arsenal 4. Fulham 2, Forest 0. Leeds 2, Palace 1. City 3, West Ham 1. Newcastle 2-2. Spurs 1, Liverpool 3. Wolves 2, Brentford 0. Yeah, Burnley and Brentford are drifting. 5 points behind West Ham, who are 2 behind Sunderland. Crystal Palace need to get something going. They're only 16th, 2 points above safety. Wolves they won, didn't they? Or fictionally won. Yeah, the gap's still 5 points at the top. And Manchester United in 10th place. Another Another huge defeat there. Right, anyway, Sunderland 1, Leeds 0. Palace, I go win, 2-1 Palace. Arsenal, yeah, 2-1 Arsenal. Brentford, I'm gonna go win, 1-0 Brentford. Burnley 2, Everton 2. Chelsea 2, Villa 1. Liverpool 3, Spurs 0. Man United 1, Newcastle 1. Forest 1, City 1. West Ham 1, Fulham 1. There we go. Looking a bit more spaced out now between the bottom three. Brentford closing the gap. West Ham and Wolves separated by 3 points. Palace with a much needed win. Leeds 20, they're 5 points from safety still. Forest are dipping a little bit. So we're nearly at the halfway mark now. After this, we will be. Right. Sunderland, I'm going to Sunderland to take a point off Man City. Palace 2, Fulham 0. Arsenal 2, Villa 1. Brentford 0, Spurs 2. These are repeated fixtures. These games have happened before. Arsenal, we've done Arsenal Villa already. I'm guessing if it's Christmas time, it's all messed up. Burnley 1, Newcastle 2. No, Newcastle 1. Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 0. Liverpool 2, Leeds 0. Man United 2, Wolves 1. Forest 1, Everton 0. West Ham 2, Brighton 2. So there we go, right at the halfway point of the season. This is what it looks like. Manchester City lead the Premier League by 1 point. They had a 9-point lead at one point. I keep saying point. But a couple of draws have slowed them down. Slowed them down. Liverpool 1 point behind in second at 44 points. Arsenal 1 point behind them with 43 points. Chelsea lingering in fourth on 41 points as the loudest vehicle in the world makes its way past. Aston Villa doing pretty well, keeping pace with the top 4. Don't forget, if we do well in Europe next year, then we could get 5 Champions League teams again. But obviously that depends on how well our clubs do in Europe and all of that stuff. Spurs in 6th, decent. Obviously they're, a few defeats still, but they've been more consistent than the other teams around them. Newcastle in 7th on 27 points, joint with Man United on 27. Nottingham Forest in 9th place on 26, with Brighton on 26 as well. Everton are topping the bottom half of the table in 11th place with 24 points. Crystal Palace in 12th with 22. They were looking a little bit dodgy, but results have picked up lately. They managed to bring themselves back up. Bournemouth in 13th, Leeds in 14th, Fulham in 15th, Sunderland 16th, Wolves 17th, and then West Ham, Brentford and Burnley in the bottom 3. Right, what I might do, I might just take a screenshot of this quickly, and then, so if I come back to this screen, what I can do is at the halfway point we can see how my predictions are looking against my actual ones, if you know what I mean. The Premier League predictions graphic. Oh god. Is that in there? Yeah. Oh no, it's not. It's not. There you go. Is that in there? There we go. Right, let's do image 3. Pictures, screenshots, bada 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 bing. Right, and then we can compare. So, what we got? So I had Liverpool in first place, and they're currently in second. Liverpool, Man City is switched around. Arsenal are in the right place. Chelsea are in the right place. Villa are 2 places higher. Spurs are in the right place. So Villa and Newcastle have essentially switched. I think those two could probably switch anyway, because I think they're very similar in terms of ability and in terms of like managerial ability as well. Man United 8th, that's bang on. Brighton in 9th, they're 10th on here. Everton in 10th, they're 11th. Crystal Palace 11th, they're 12th. And then Bournemouth. So Brighton, Everton, Palace and Bournemouth are together 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, but they're 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th on my predictor. And then you've got Nottingham Forest, so I put in 13th, they're in 9th, above these teams. 14th is, I had Fulham initially, and I've got Leeds currently. And so Fulham are in 15th on this one, they're in 14th on my real one. Sunderland in 15th, they're 16th on this new one, so they're 1 place below. Wolves are in 6th, so again, Fulham, Sunderland, Wolves all together. 15th, 16th, 17th, but on my actual predictions they were 14th, 15th and 16th. And then Leeds have jumped above the others, so 14th so far, they're 17th on this one. And then West Ham, Brentford and Burnley, they are the 3 that I had to go down. They're just in a different order. So West Ham and Brentford switch around, and then Burnley in last position on 20th. So we'll get rid of that. We'll come back to that later. Right, we'll get you off. I do apologise if I sound a little bit out of breath sometimes on this. I don't really know why. I feel like whilst I'm trying to stream, like I keep needing to catch my breath. I don't really know why. I don't know whether it's just because it's really hot today and just struggling for air quality and all that stuff. But I do apologise if that has been the case. So shall we move on? I'm just going to have a quick drink first again, and then we'll crack on with the second half. Right, let's go then, shall we? Right, Bournemouth against Arsenal. Arsenal have lost here. They lost to Bournemouth last season, didn't they? Could do it again. Yeah, 2-1 Bournemouth. Big prediction. I'm gonna go 1-0 Villa Forest. Brighton, Burnley. 2-0 Brighton. 2-1 Everton. 3-1 Liverpool. Leeds. Oh, do you know what? I fancy Leeds to beat Man United. I think it'd be a big statement. I'm going to go 2-0 Leeds. City, Chelsea. I'm going to go 2-1 City. It'd be close. I'm going to go 2-0 Newcastle. Spurs. I think Sunderland to nick a point. It's my anti-Tottenham or pro-Arsenal bias showing again. Wolves. Oh, I'm going to go West Ham to nick that. 1-0. Actually, no. 2-1. 2-1. So there we go. Still 1 point at the top. Arsenal not far behind. West Ham out the bottom 3. Overtaking Wolves, who they played. Yeah, not a lot of change apart from that. Bournemouth, Tottenhm. Could they take both North London clubs in the space of 2 weeks? Yes, they can. 2-0. I'm going to go... I go Palace. 2-1 Palace. Arsenal, Liverpool. Do you know what? Again, potentially Arsenal bias shown here. 2-1 Arsenal. They're at home. They've got a decent record against Liverpool at home. Brentford Sunderland. I'm going to go 1-0 Brentford. No reason. Burnley Man United. 2-1 United. Everton against Wolves. I'm going to go for a shock Wolves win. 1-0. Fulham Chelsea. I'm going to go 2-1 Fulham. Why not? City Brighton 2-0. Nah, 3-1. 3-1. Newcastle, I'm going 0-0. And then West Ham. I think the West Ham win. 2-1. Put Sunderland in the bottom three. They're all separated. So from Everton in 11th to Sunderland in 18th. Separated by 6 points. Everton had a really good start as well. They're dropping off. Nottingham Forest are dropping a little bit. Obviously they're going back to where I think they should be. Yeah. Right, let's go again. I'm going for Sunderland win, 2-1. Villa 1-0. Brighton 1, Bournemouth 2. Chelsea 2, Brentford 0. Liverpool 3, Burnley 0. Leeds 2, Fulham 1. United. Do you know what? I'll go for United win there, 2-1. Forest 0, Arsenal 2. Spurs 2, West Ham 0. Wolves 2, Newcastle 1. West Ham back in the bottom three. Wolves get a decent result. Sunderland, Fulham. Fulham are still lingering though, they're close. I haven't done Fulham a lot of service. I think I just never assume they'll win. I think they've got to win at some point. But like I said at the start of this, they're just kind of there, aren't they? But maybe Fulham will sneak into it. Who knows? Right, Bournemouth, Liverpool. I go. Oh god, no. 2-1 Liverpool. This is the opening day of the season again, isn't it? Palace 1, Chelsea 3. Arsenal 2, Man United 0. Brentford 1, Forest 1. Burnley, shock win. Burnley 1, Spurs 0. Everton 2, Leeds 1. Fulham 2, Brighton 0. City 4, Wolves 1. Newcastle 2, Villa 2. West Ham 1, Sunderland 1. The gap. Does it narrow? No, City 1, Liverpool 1 as well. Arsenal 1, so it's very, very close. Top three separated by 2 points. Chelsea now stuttering a little bit, but they did. Did I predict them to win? Sure I did. Yeah, 3-1. Everton finding a bit of form. Bournemouth finding a bit of form. Yeah, Leeds 13th. Right. Sunderland 2, Burnley 0. Villa 4. Was that harsh? Yeah, 4-1. I've been really mean to Brentford. I just don't think they'll survive. 2-0 Brighton. 3-1 Chelsea. Problem is that you don't factor in shock results. So you know there's going to be one that's like, what the hell, how did that happen? Liverpool 1, Newcastle 0. Leeds. No, 1-0. I think Arsenal stutter there. 1-0. Man United 2, Fulham 1. I feel like Forest and Palace have played each other like a million times. 1-1. Spurs, Man City. Spurs could win that. 2-1 Spurs. Wolves 2, Bournemouth 0. Oh, here we go then. Seismic change at the top. Liverpool moved to the top of the table. 2-point lead over Manchester City. Arsenal in third, but they've stuttered as well. They missed a chance to go above Man City. Chelsea in fourth. They've closed the gap to Arsenal. And Aston Villa a little bit back. Spurs and Manchester United way off top four place, but in 6th and 7th currently as it stands. Newcastle with a very even record after 8 games, and then West Ham, Brentford and Burnley still in that bottom 3. Fulham opening up a little gap now. Crystal Palace still down there as well, so that's going to be very, very competitive come the end of the season. So let's move on. Bournemouth, Aston Villa. I'm going to go, I think the Bournemouth win there, 2-1. Brighton 2, Palace 2. Arsenal 3, Sunderland 0. Burnley 2, West Ham 1. Fulham 1, Everton 0. Liverpool 2-1 Liverpool. Leeds 0, Forest 0. Man United 1, Spurs 1. Newcastle 2, Brentford 0. Wolves 2, Chelsea 1. Wolves are up to 13th place now. Doing the business on 9 wins. Maybe I've underestimated Wolves. I don't know. Another damaging defeat for Chelsea though. So that means that Arsenal have now, 2 defeats in a row for Man City. So Liverpool have opened up a 5-point gap. Arsenal now in 2nd place. City are closer to Chelsea than they are to Liverpool now. There's a lot of people saying that any of the top 4 could compete for the title, which would be really interesting. Sunderland against Liverpool. Sunderland 1-0, Darren Bent beach ball. I'm going to go 1-1. Screw it. Villa 3, Brighton 0. Palace 2, Burnley 0. Brentford 1, Arsenal 3. Chelsea 2, Leeds 0. Everton 2, Bournemouth 1. City 5, Fulham 0. Forest 2, Wolves 1. Spurs 2-1. West Ham 1. Man United 3. So that draw brings Arsenal back into the equation, a 1-point deficit. And then City 3 points behind. So they've bowled it big time. Well, virtually. Obviously they had an 8-point lead at one point, and now it's kind of collapsing on them a little bit. Chelsea in 4th, Villa in 5th. I feel like I'm just repeating myself. You can just look at that. Sunderland, there's a bit of a gap now between West Ham in 18th and Sunderland in 17th. Bit of a gap there. Obviously only 1 point between Palace in 13th, Sunderland in 17th. Burnley and Brentford I think are pretty much gone now. Then West Ham still have a fighting chance. As we move on to match week 27, we're nearly 3/4 of the way through the season. For Sunderland 1, Fulham 3. Villa 2, Leeds 0. Crystal Palace 2, Wolves 1. I'm going to go for a big win for Brentford, 1-0. Chelsea stutter, 1-0. Everton 2, Man United 0. City 3, Newcastle 1. Nottingham Forest 1, Liverpool 2. 2-0 Arsenal, big statement. West Ham, I feel like 2-1 West Ham. What's that done? It's brought the gap back down to 3 points. West Ham 3 points behind Sunderland, so might need a high total to stay up this year. It's quite competitive. But Liverpool leading the way by a point still. City 2 points back. Head on to the next one. Go Bournemouth 2, Sunderland 0. Brighton 1, Forest 1. Arsenal 2, Chelsea 1. Brentford, Burnley 1, Brentford 0. Fulham 1, Spurs 2. Liverpool 3, West Ham 0. Leeds 1, City 3. Man United, I'm going to go for Palace, shock win. 2-0 Newcastle. And then Wolves 1, Villa 1. So gap still 3 points, big win for Brentford. They're still rooted to the bottom. Burnley 2 points above them. Wolves, good point. Did they get a point? Yeah, they did. And then I think anybody that like Forest down, probably looking over their shoulder. Even Crystal Palace are looking over their shoulder. Everton only a point above that though. Newcastle only on 38. Disappointing return. I'm sure a lot of these teams will get much higher totals, I would imagine. As we are now about 3/4 of the way through the season. I'm going to go 2-1 Bournemouth. I'm going to go 2-0 Villa. Brighton 1, Arsenal 3. Everton 3, Burnley 0. Fulham 2, West Ham 1. Leeds 1, Sunderland. No, actually no. Yeah, stick with your first instinct. Leeds 1, Sunderland 0. City 4, Forest 2. Newcastle 2, Man United. No. He says, telling himself to stick with his first instinct. Spurs 3, Palace 1. Wolves 1, Liverpool 3. Still mega tight at the top though. Their Chelsea have now slipped back massively. So that defeat to Villa now puts them behind Aston Villa. Chelsea now 5th as it stands. Tottenham aren't a million miles away in 6th. Newcastle in 7th, Everton 8th. They'll be starting to feel a little bit safer. But yeah, I think a lot of these teams will be wanting to get a move on. Manchester United still in 10th, only have 40 points. Still lost more games than they've won. Right. How's Sunderland doing? Because they're still 17th. I feel like they've got some decent results though lately. Right, Sunderland 1, Brighton 2, Palace 1, Leeds 1, Arsenal 4, Everton 1. I'm going to go 2-0 Brentford. Burnley, Bournemouth 3-1 Bournemouth. Chelsea 2, Newcastle 1, Liverpool 2, Spurs 0. Man United 1, Villa 2. Nottingham Forest 2, Fulham 0. West Ham 1, Manchester City 3. Still looking pretty tight. Neither of these teams at the top especially giving an inch. It's a straight shootout between Liverpool, Arsenal and Manchester City for this title. For Sunderland and West Ham, the gap is still 3 points, although Brentford and Burnley are slowly, very slowly closing the gap. So who knows? God, my fingers are so sweaty. So warm in here. Jesus. Right. 31. Bournemouth 2, United 0. Screw it. Villa 2, West Ham 1. Brighton 1, Liverpool 3. Everton 1, Chelsea 2, Fulham 2, Burnley 0. Leeds 2, Brentford 1. City 3, Palace 1. Newcastle will get revenge 2-0. Spurs will beat Nottingham Forest 3-1. And I think Arsenal will stumble at Wolves. So that's now put Manchester City up into second place, with Arsenal now third. City ahead of them on goal difference. Liverpool still have a 3-point gap at the top, with Villa and Chelsea, fighting for fourth place. But Spurs not a million miles behind. Bournemouth now in seventh. They just sort of snuck up. They were down there a minute ago. Bournemouth on an amazing run of form, up to seventh. Newcastle in eighth. Everton in ninth. Man United in 10th. Fulham jumped up. Like I said, that bottom pack was really, really close. But teams like Bournemouth and Fulham and Palace have shot up. Sunderland, yeah, still 3-point gap. And then Wolves. Leeds are now pulling away. I'd say Leeds have a 10-point gap with 7 games to go. I'm guessing they're starting to feel pretty comfortable now. I think it's probably between Wolves, Sunderland, West Ham. Maybe these two might come into it. I don't know. I'm talking about a fictional event that I've made up that might actually be as if it's actually real. Yeah. Right, do you know what, I'm going to go big win for Sunderland, 3-1. Nothing to do with the fact that I'm an Arsenal fan, obviously. 2-0 Palace. 3-1 Arsenal. 1-1. Burnley 0, Brighton 2. Chelsea. I think Chelsea will throw a spanner in the works. 2-1. Liverpool 3, Fulham 0. Man United 2, Leeds 0. Forest 1, Villa 3, and West Ham. I did have West Ham. Maybe West Ham will nick it 1-0. Which means, see, Arsenal go back up to second, but it means that gap between Sunderland and West Ham stays as it is, and it brings Wolves back into contention, and maybe it brings Leeds back into contention as well. You never know. Right, Aston Villa against Sunderland, 2-1 Villa. Crystal Palace 2, West Ham 0. Brentford 1, Fulham 2. Chelsea 2, Man United 0. Everton 1. I feel like, could Liverpool stumble on this one? Maybe. Go draw. 2-0 Leeds. Oh, that's big. Okay, I'm going to bottle it and go 1-1. I don't think Arsenal will win, but I think they're smart enough not to lose. Newcastle 2, Bournemouth 0. Forest 2, Burnley 1. Spurs 3-0. That's not what Brighton's goal difference is, because I've made like massive predict. I've made. So they're down in 14th. Jesus. I think I put them on a really bad run of form. But I think Brighton could. I mean, I predicted them to finish 9th at the start. But maybe they could have a bad season, especially if they lose Belieber. That gap has opened up again for Leeds. 5 games to go. 10 points from safety. That should be enough. I'm just going to go have another quick drink because my throat is dying. Right. Bournemouth 3, Leeds 0. Sunderland, I think this will be the big win they need. 2-0. Brighton 2, Chelsea 1. Arsenal 2, Newcastle 0. Burnley 0, City 3. Fulham 1, Villa 1. Liverpool 2, Palace 0. United, no, 2-0. Not 20, no. Man United barely scored 20 goals a season, not only 20 goals a game. West Ham, I think 1-1 there. Wolves, I'm going to go 2-1 Wolves. Right. So Sunderland have now leapfrogged Wolves. So there's 5 points, the gap between Wolves and West Ham. Brentford, are Brentford relegated now? Pretty much. There's 12 points, so Burnley are relegated. They're 14 points from safety with 12 left on the table. Brentford are as good as down. They're not technically down, but they need every single result to go their way in a massive goal swing. But West Ham looking a bit precarious. So it might be that the 3 I've actually predicted to go down do go down in this, so my results might match my convictions. Let's get the loudest motorbikes in the world on this road. Right, Bournemouth 2, Palace 0. Villa 2-2. Arsenal 2, Fulham 0. Brentford 2, West Ham 1. Chelsea 3, Forest 0. Everton, I think this could be where City slip up, 2-2. Leeds 2, Burnley 0. But I think could Liverpool screw up as well? Go 1-1. Newcastle 2, Brighton 0. Wolves 2, Sunderland 1. So this means Liverpool and Arsenal separated by 1 point with 3 games to go. City are nearly out of it. They're third on 77. Chelsea are fourth on 69. 60, Villa 68. So battle for fourth. They can catch City if they win all of their remaining games and City lose all of theirs. Spurs locked in a battle with Bournemouth and Newcastle for 6th place. United need a miracle to get in the top 6. Everton in 10th. That's where I predicted them. I'd be happy with that. Crystal Palace, Brighton, Leeds in 13th, so they're comfortably safe now. Fulham are safe, Forest are safe, Wolves good as safe. Sunderland, yeah, I think it's looking pretty precarious for these 3 now. Again, I'm talking about a fictional scenario as if it can actually happen. Right, let's go. Sunderland. I think Sunderland will seal their survival with a 1-0 win. Brighton 2, Wolves 1, Palace 0, Everton 0, Burnley 1, Villa 2, Fulham 2, Bournemouth 0, Liverpool 3, Chelsea 1, City 4, Brentford 1, Forest 2, Newcastle 0, Spurs 3, Leeds 2, and then West Ham. Could this be the game that Arsenal stumble on? West Ham scrapping, fighting for their lives, take a point off of Arsenal, which at this stage puts Liverpool very much in the driving seat. The gap opens up again to 3 points with 2 games left to go. Manchester City virtually out of it now. Greater goal difference, but need absolutely everything to go their way. Villa currently hold that 4th place with 71 points, and Chelsea in 5th. Massive gap to Spurs. And that means that result for Sunderland means that West Ham are officially relegated. So the bottom 3 that I predicted are the bottom 3 that have actually happened on here. So my results are backing up my convictions, which is really good. Wolves lingering above that bottom 3, and Sunderland are just above them in 16th. Right. Right, 2 games to go. Right. Bournemouth, Man City. I think City will just keep doing what they need to do. Big statement win for Liverpool. Arsenal 5, Burnley 0. Brentford 2, Palace 1, it'll be too little too late. Chelsea 3, Spurs 2, Everton 2, Sunderland 0, Leeds 1, Brighton 1. I think 2-0 Forest. 2-1 Newcastle. And I'm going to go 2-1 Fulham. Right, so here is the state of play. Heading into the final game of the season. So Manchester City are out of the title race. They cannot win it. They can still finish second if Arsenal lose their final game and they win it because they have a superior goal difference. So Liverpool and Arsenal separated by 5 points. Arsenal need to win. Hope Liverpool lose because their goal difference will be enough. Chelsea in 4th place on 72 points, locked in a very intense battle with Aston Villa for that final Champions League spot, unless English clubs do really well in Europe and there's a 5th one that opens up. Spurs in 6th place on 57 points. They're safe now. Newcastle United in 7th place with a 1 point lead over Bournemouth in 8th. Everton, Fulham, they were looking dodgy. But they could be in the realms of a top 10 place, but there's 2 points. 2 points separates 9th to 13th. That's very exciting. These teams could finish anywhere. Crystal Palace could finish 11th. Manchester United could finish bottom half again. Wolves and Sunderland now safe. As we head into that final round of fixtures, who have we got? Liverpool, Brentford at home. Jesus. So if I'm obviously being an Arsenal fan, if this is the situation on the last day, and I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, Brentford. If Brentford are already relegated as well, you'd be thinking, what is the point? What is the point? You get some pretty crazy results on the last day. Sunderland 2, Chelsea 4. Brighton 3, Man United 2. I think Arsenal will do what they need to do. Burnley will beat Wolves 2-0. Fulham 2, Newcastle 1. Liverpool will come out on top, I think 4-0 against Brentford. City 2, Villa 3. Screw it, why not? Forest 2, Bournemouth 0. Tottenham 3, Everton 2. And then West Ham 2, Leeds 1. There we go. So the final results. The final results from the Barclays Premier League. That's not called Barclays anymore. So Liverpool will be champions of England again with 92 points. Arsenal falling up short for the 4th season in a row, second again on 89. Manchester City in 3rd on 83 points. Chelsea nicked that final top 4 spot on 75 points, 1 point from Aston Villa in 5th place. Tottenham finished 6th on 60 points. Newcastle finished 7th on 53 points. Bournemouth finished 8th on 52. Fulham 9th on 51. Fulham, where did they come from? Jesus. Bournemouth as well. Brighton finished 10th, rounding out the top 10 on 50 points. Nottingham Forest in 11th on 49. Everton 12th, 48. Manchester United, bottom half again. Really? Wow. I feel like obviously I had Man United finishing 8th, but after the results I've got them finishing 13th. Crystal Palace in 14th place on 44 points. Leeds United in 15th on 43. Wolves in 16th on 38. Sunderland in 17th, 38 as well. And then getting relegated, we've got West Ham in 18th on 34 points. Brentford in 19th on 29 points, and then Burnley propping up the table on 24 points. So let's take another screenshot of that, and then we can compare it to what I put on my actual predictions. So let's come out of that, let's go back into here, load up that image. Just realised I had my stream playing on my phone the entire time. That's going to wipe the battery out. Right, what do I want? I want this. Right. Okay. There we go. Right. So I think that's all good. So if we have a look, so my predictions for Liverpool to beat champions of England has matched up with what I put initially. Arsenal and Manchester City ended up the other way round. I initially put City second and Arsenal third, but it's the other way round. Chelsea in fourth, that's matched up. Villa ended up in fifth, threatening a top four spot. I put them seventh initially. Tottenham in sixth has worked out to be correct. Or not correct, but matches up. Villa and Newcastle ended up being the other way round. So Villa fifth on this one, Newcastle seventh. It was the other way around initially. I had Manchester United to finish eighth. That did not work out. It worked out to be Bournemouth, who I thought might struggle a bit more this season with all the defenders that they've lost. But no, they've got their eighth on here. I had Brighton to finish ninth, but then that's worked out to be Fulham, who just sort of really snuck in there. Brighton ended up finishing 10th on this prediction, so I was only one off, really, which wasn't too bad. It's funny how the halfway stage it actually sort of looked somewhat familiar to what I put, but in the second half it's just completely skewed. So I had Everton to finish 10th, they've ended up in 12th on here. Crystal Palace to finish 11th, they ended up 14th, so 3 places below. I had Bournemouth finishing 12th and they ended up 8th. Nottingham Forest finished 13th, they've ended up 11th. So they've all sort of ended up in and around each other, just in the complete wrong or completely different order. Fulham I had finishing 14th, they've ended up 9th on here. Sunderland 15th, they scraped it. So I think Sunderland and Leeds are basically the wrong way around. So Sunderland 15th, Leeds 17th, and then Leeds have ended up 15th, Sunderland have ended up 17th. But I did have Wolves in 16th, that's worked out. And then my bottom 3 have ended up being correct, just in the wrong order. So I had Brentford and West Ham. Brentford 18th, West Ham 19th, they've ended up the other way round. And then Burnley, dead last on 24 points. I had them finishing last anyway. So there we go. Those are my Premier League predictions for the upcoming season. Let me know what you think of those. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I do apologise. I feel like I've just been in and out of breath whilst doing this stream. I said it before, but I think it's just because the air quality in this room is so shit and it's really hot today. So yeah. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please consider leaving a like on there for me. If you're new around here and you like what you see, why not get subscribed so that you can be notified of future videos like this one. Comment below any thoughts and suggestions you may have if you're watching this on a replay. But yeah, that is everything from me, so thank you very much for joining me for this. Let me know what your predictions are down below. You know, who you think are going to be champions. You can list the table from 1 to 20 if you want to. It's up to you. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. But thank you once again. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And I will see you next time. Thanks once again. Take care.